Good afternoon, everybody. Let's see who I can get to jump on here. I got questions. I just had a crazy call, so I had to get the heat of it out on the phone with my husband. But then I said I need to get on here with all my passion and have this conversation. We're supposed to be on here at 1:00 on Thursdays anyway, so this is a good opportunity to do that. The title of this particular live is When a Father Has Doubts. And of course you're here already. My husband, I'm here. Of course you're here. And I've put it on all of my pages at this point. You got a great song ready to be posted. You know too much. So, yeah, my husband is always the one I'm going to bounce stuff off of, just because I got to get the heat of it out with him. I got to get the rawness of it out with him on here. So let's go here. I am Dr. Tori J. I'm the founder and CEO of the Fatherless Generation Foundation. And Thursdays are meant to be Help Is On the Way. Thursdays are meant to be testimonial type of things. I just had a call. I've been working with a father for 4 years now. That's why you guys need to know this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Some of you who want this to happen overnight and move things along and force things, it doesn't always happen overnight. But I just got off the phone with the mother of his son, or potential son, I should say. But yeah, we'll say his son for purposes of this live. Just got off the phone with her. Over a 4-year period, we have filed a few times. Mom moves a lot, to the point that by the time we find her, serve her, or try to serve her again, things get dismissed or moved around. She's in a different county. Things keep happening. And one of the things that people like to try to change about my organization, that you're not going to be able to change, because you are getting a pro bono attorney, is my attorneys will work with me and the information that we already have, along with their paralegal or their legal assistant, and things will get pushed that way. The client doesn't initially talk to the attorney. You know why the client doesn't always talk to the attorney off the rip? Because some of y'all are way too passionate. Some of you want to use a pro bono attorney to tell all your problems to. And I have to be the filter and the buffer for that, to keep my good reputation with my attorneys on roster. And so that's why some of the conversation, you guys are really like, well, if he has an attorney, yes and no. Mom, when I tell you mom moves from like county to county, still within Georgia, but good distances away. Could be transferred, but then once it gets transferred, she moves again. Some of these cases have been transferred multiple times, and that's been the delay. So nonetheless, I don't want to keep going into that. There was a moment where brothers are talking to each other on FaceTime. So father is married now. He has a son with his wife. The brothers, the son from the other young lady, who is now 13, they're FaceTiming each other. And as they're FaceTiming each other, it becomes this moment where this son asks the mother, why does my younger brother, who lives with him, get to see his dad, but I don't get to see mine? I'm going to pause there for a moment. Children have questions just like we do as adults. And many of us are still dealing with questions within our bodies that started in our childhood. And we never got the answer for them because many of us weren't as bold as this young man to ask the mother the question. Mom begins to cry on the FaceTime, says, you know what? I've been wrong. She's crying to the current wife and says, I'm really sorry for all that I've done to you and all of that. So now they want to move forward with mediation. I am a certified mediator in Georgia. I was like, I can help you guys mediate. I will let the attorney know that we have gotten to this place. We're going to move forward. I couldn't even get there because I called this young lady to get a time set up to do the mediation. She has changed her mind in just a week. Her position was this: he should have just stepped up to the plate. I filed for child support in Michigan, and he didn't accept the child support in Michigan. And so he just should have done it then. Perspective is like everything. I want to know what women think about this. If I take you to court as a woman and I believe that you're my child's father, but when we get to court, the judge throws the case out because the judge says there's another man's name on this birth certificate, so you can't move forward with child support with this man. The other man is her husband, who she was married to at the time that she conceived. I can tell you about the different laws in the different states and all of that, but I'm trying to get you to a place where I want to know, because I got some feelings, but I want to know how you guys feel, because I just think this is like a lot. To have this expectation that this man was just supposed to step up, although he has doubts as well as to whether or not he's the father. In the time frame I've been working with him, I think he's seen this young man five times, maybe six, maybe. He has attempted to put himself on child support so that he could get the DNA test. We have filed in multiple counties. We've transferred it. We've done all of this stuff because he wants to know if he's the father so that he can actively be the father. She has been withholding for 8 years, admitted that on a FaceTime. But then when it came to me, she was like, well, I've been making sure that he could get access. No, because he doesn't have an address. So there's no way. She wanted to meet him at a McDonald's and maybe he spent an hour with the child. I want to know where women are with that. Should a man step up for a child that he has doubts about? And I'm not just talking about seeing him here and there. I'm talking about full on pay child support without a DNA test. And I'm not being facetious. I'm just asking, because some people, look, I have a different thought process and I want to know what people think. Should a man step up when he has doubts and there's another man's name on the birth certificate? I need to know yes or no. I need to hear some, because I'm an engager, like on TFGF's page, and I'm doing this from multiple places. I want to know, should he have stepped up? Is that a thing? Because I don't know. I've watched Maury enough to know that that doesn't always happen like that. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes because I want to know what people think. Should he have stepped up? Yes or no? And maybe the question is, what does stepping up look like? My husband says, nope, test first. He's the engager today. Come on, you guys. Should a man step up? And I want to hear from some ladies because I'm not a parent. I'm not in this situation. So I don't want to cast judgment. I really want to know what you think. Because even a judge threw it out. And she was like, no, he could have taken a DNA test and done this and that at the courthouse. He never got that option because before he could even ask those questions, before he was even able to speak, it was thrown out. Should a man step up when he has doubts and another man's name is on the birth certificate? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Are y'all at work? Most of y'all still working from home, so y'all doing a bunch of other stuff. Tell me what you think, really, because I need to know, because I'm over here with a lot of emotions about it. And then on the call with her, I need you to know I've had to locate her at least 3 or 4 times. That's how much she's moved. And I know some people are like, well, that's every year. No, there were other addresses in between that. We just couldn't figure out what they were because she was living with other people, I think is what it was. And it's hard to track someone when they live with other people. You guys have nothing to say. Fark, they have nothing to say about this. Maybe they feel like I'm just being hard again. Because I can tell them about the woman that I recently tried to help, because everybody says I'm insensitive about women and I don't help women as much as I help men. And of course I don't, because I'm the Fatherless Generation Foundation. But Varg, I can tell them about the woman I really attempted to say. He says that says it all, that no one's saying anything. I can tell him about the woman I recently tried to help reunite with her daughter and how badly that went. She lied. Because she lied. It didn't go well. My husband says, tell it. I want to finish this. When a father has doubts, Do you, Tony, I see you on here. Tony, Nix, I got a question because ain't nobody answering it. And I see you popping up here. My question is this. Do you step up and man up when you have doubts and another man's name is on the birth certificate? Tony, please answer. Tell me yes or no. I really want to hear from the ladies because I know people want to believe that those are actors on Maury. I'm sure some of them maybe. I don't know. But let's just go here. Paternity court, those aren't actors. A lot of women have doubts. A lot of women have multiple partners. And then we want men to do things that, for me, doesn't seem realistic. For me, it's not something you would do. Not only is there there's question as to whether or not, see, y'all ain't saying nothing. There's question of whether or not he's the father in his own mind, but there's another man on the birth certificate. Now, some would say, you slept with that woman, so you know. Yeah, but you got to find the person in order to get the testing, Kelly Jo. She said, yes, he should step up, ask for testing. Yeah, he's done. He did that work, but she wanted him to step up without the testing. She wanted him to step up without knowing where she lived. I guess maybe I'm losing some pieces. Okay, so Kelly Jo says, yes, he should step up and ask for a paternity test. And I guess like I said, I need to ask, what does stepping up look like? Jessica says, that's entrapment. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I'll step up if you set up. I don't know what you're saying, Varric, there. Because I believe that's why he has seen the child. I mean, I know at least in 4 years, I'm going to say 5 or 6 times that he's spent. And they were actually, Paul said, absolutely no step up until testing is done. But how do you test? Like if you can't get, well, he did have access to the kid. He could have taken him without the mom's knowledge, right? I don't know how well that would have worked out. And another man's name is on this birth certificate. Not just any random man, the man that she's married to. So I'm just, she said, I'd love to know how this should play out. Yeah, because I think it goes back to this place of perfection that we were saying that men feel like they have to live up to. Because being a part of the child's life to some degree, sure. But how does a man fully engage when he has too many questions? Yeah, you can't take kid without mom. Exactly, Brittany. I can meet you at McDonald's and y'all can see each other, but you can't go anywhere. And if anybody knows any gifts or anything that you give prior to a child support order, in many instances is seen as a gift. So that becomes a question. Because then people can go back up to 2 years, I think it's in Georgia, and get you for child support, even though you've been paying. So it's a really difficult place that I think people are placed in. Mark said, I'll step up if she steps up and tell me who the father is. And it's okay not to know. Then we can get a test. Yeah. Charles says, I would never recommend a man to do anything if she doesn't want a paternity test. That could obligate you in many states. Yeah. And thank God for our friend Carnell. I think that's, yeah. He made sure in Georgia, if it turns out that you're not the child, paternity fraud, or you're not the father, paternity fraud can be overturned. But that's not in every state. I think that's still only in a handful of states. And once you're on the hook, you can't ever get off that hook. You can't raise a child over a Happy Meal. Okay, because at first I didn't get what you were saying. Varg said you can't raise a child over a Happy Meal. That's true. Going through the courts to get an order for DNA takes too long. If you have the child by yourself, go get the test done. See, yeah, Paul, I'm probably with you on that one. But you still have to go through the courts to get your name on this birth certificate. But yeah, I'm with you on that one because he's had the child in his he's seen him, and I know this summer he had him in his care for the first time. Yeah. And our state, if the husband is on the birth certificate or a woman is married, it's automatically his child. And you have to sue. Yep. That's, yeah. Yeah. That's Brittany. You're telling the truth, girlfriend. And people don't know these are laws. So they just think it should just work the way they want it to work. And I'm like, oh, Varg said I did it. Yeah. Don't tell Charity. Don't ever let your daughter know that you did that. Yeah, he did that. He had doubts. And so he did his own DNA test when the child was in his care. Yeah, Charles, it's like in 3 or 4 states where if they find out that you're not the father, you can actually remove your name and you're not obligated to pay child support. But in the rest of the states, if you already started the process and they feel like you're the father and they've legally determined you're the father without a DNA test, you are on the hook for at least 18 to 21 years, depending on if this child goes to college. Yeah, right. But now you know, and you can breathe and have a sigh of relief, and then you can go forward with the course. Paul, that's very true. See, that's wisdom. See, I'm not trying to disparage anybody on here, but I'm like, when a father has doubts, what are his options? Because this woman was on the phone with me today and she was saying things, and I'm like, I don't know if it should work like that. I don't know. Here in Tennessee, you have to have mom's permission for DNA. Yeah. See, every state is different. Every single, like, women can't legitimate their child. Only a father can file for that in Georgia. And in some states, only the man can go, or only the mother can put the man on child support. He can't go down to the court and put himself on child support. So when you say, oh, all he need to do, that's my favorite line y'all say. All he need to do, every state is different. And you have to recognize that. My son claimed children and his name is on the birth certificate. Secrets are not a good thing when dealing with this. Once you're on the birth certificate, you pay child support for them in Iowa. Iowa is the same. A child born with a marriage is the husband's and not the biological father's. Yeah. A lot of those states are that way. I'm reminded of your friend in Michigan, the mailman. Oh, yeah. Yeah, on the hook for 20 years. Once paternity has been established through the court, you're on the hook if it's not your child. Absolutely, Paul, except those 3 or 4 states that Charles was listing. And you don't want to do that for a child that you're on the hook for paying for, but can't build a relationship with. I love what my husband said. That was a line. You can't raise a child at McDonald's over a Happy Meal. You can't. But that's what some are being asked to do. So when a man has doubts, I like what Paul said. Do your own private paternity test. They don't cost much. That way you alleviate the doubt in your heart and you can go forward with the court case. Because maybe if the child isn't yours, you're not even filing anything. You're just disappearing. You don't need to go to court. You can spend $60 or $260 and then do all of this. So I like what Paul said. When a father has doubts, it's really, I think it's on you. If the child is ever in your care, swab them. I hate to say that. I mean, and then, the one young lady said, in Tennessee, you can't do it without the mom's permission, but you can do it. What Paul is saying, you can do it for your own peace of mind. You don't need permission for peace of mind. Married or unmarried, step 1, get the test done. Protect yourself and plan and move forward. Great. See, Paul's got the whole thing. So when you have doubts, number 1, do the test when the child's in your care. If you can't get the child in your care, that's a totally different step process. You got to go to court to do that. Barak. I wonder who my father was, Cole Porter. Yeah, that's is that the name of the song? Is that really a song? Clark, don't tell me that's really a song. There's a lot of songs out here, you guys, where people are expressing the alienation that they felt. I believe that upon birth of a child, that DNA testing should be instantly done. This would be a way to stop the issue. The hospital takes enough child's blood samples for other testing. That's true. Don says new law, no birth certificates without paternity tests. You know, I was recently asked by Broward County Wellness to do a class on fatherhood, but the majority of the class was talking about the different steps, right? Also, you know, bringing in therapists and things like that to talk about the child's development. But they wanted the piece in there where it discussed doing the testing. What were the next steps with court? And so we would bring in an attorney to have that conversation. We didn't get the grant, so they didn't move forward, but they're still looking for other grants to do it. Not all hospitals want to do that. Not all wellness organizations want to do that. I've learned that the hard way. We wanted to in Atlanta, just when you get your packet, to put a flyer with it, right? The steps to legitimation for unmarried fathers. And they wouldn't let that happen at all. It's just a flyer. It's just 3-step program right here. Boom. My name ain't on it. Logo ain't on it. I'm not trying to get you to sign up with me, just so men are clear, because men don't know the steps. I know we think they do, but they don't. Jessica said if he wants the test, he should get it done. However, when it comes to what it should look like, I'm going to look like money. It's going to look like money. I'm sorry. I got to move closer because the light. So this guy just needs to prepare for that. He's okay with that. I'm telling you, he's been patient. It's been 4 years. She said yes to mediation a few years ago. And then when I got her there and tried to get her, you know, with the mediators in the county, she backed out then. So, because I was too busy and I couldn't do it. And Varg is saying, yes, that's really the name of the song. Okay, so what are some options if you want DNA, but husband is legally the father? You don't have those options, Brittany. I tried to have a case like that in Alabama. And from what I was told, I want you to seek an attorney, because you probably have, but from what I was told from the attorney who was working on that case, was there was nothing they could do if the husband was not willing to remove his name as the legal father. Nothing you can do. Mom wants the dad to file for paternity because child support won't help her since husband is legally responsible. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. You want one man to pay for the child and another man to parent. This is where I was trying to see, Paul, you calmed me all the way down, and now Brittany's stirring me back up. See, you chose, you want one man to pay for a child and not have any access and then pretend like this is his dad. Where do they do that at? Where? The majority don't know the steps. They don't. I've talked to so many unmarried fathers thinking they have rights because they signed the birth certificate and the acknowledgement of paternity. Come on, Paul. And even if I post that on my wall today, you've seen the arguments. Oh, yes, you do. And I just did a simple screenshot and posted different issues from different states. And people are like, oh, you're clearly not an attorney. We're not trying to be. We're just trying to show you that what you're saying is false. Most states, men do not have any rights to their children when they are unmarried. 0. Okay, 1, responsible to pay child support. You don't have any access. You don't have any decision-making power. This is my husband, my life. My husband is going through this with baby mama. Laws have changed for the better because men are runners. Maybe the girlfriend keeps some objects' DNA. Men aren't runners. I don't know who that is, but men aren't always runners. Sometimes, that's no question about it. But like you said, laws have changed for the better. And I want to say that I believe that men and humanity is changing for the better because they have gone through fatherless journeys, or they've been in a position where they've had an awesome father and they're like, what is this? I don't want to do this. This is odd. So yeah, men are runners. Maybe the girlfriend keeps some objects for DNA. Yeah. Hey, Brian. Yeah. And I think that's the other part. We have to create, that's why you have so many pages that are like showing you true fatherhood, showing you that men are actually showing up, because the narrative that exists is that men run, that men don't want to be present. And you have pages that have millions of followers that are showing you that men desire to be present, that men not only desire to be present, but they are showing up. But this is where we get confused. Like, Brittany has this situation. My client has this situation. I've worked with other men with this situation, that when a father has doubts, what should he do? And I like what Paul said. Paul went through it. Kelly Jo said, society lacks positivity to fathers. Yeah, and sensitivity. Women's groups are on the defense constantly against fathers. Absolutely. But why? It's two parents. We shouldn't have to have pages where we're against one another. It should be co-parenting successfully in some way. I'm actually going to post on the Fatherless Generation Foundation page. I found this really awesome calendar in Texas. Some of y'all hate Texas, but the Child Support Office, Attorney General, created an awesome calendar that helps you co-parent, not just with the other parent, but having the children involved in a way where they can see the calendar and they can place a sticker. So you can print this up on sticky paper and they can place a sticker where they know when they're going to be at your house and they know when they're going to be with mom. And then they can create different pictures and all of that stuff. So I'm going to put that in my Gmail, my Google Drive, and then I'm going to attach the link to the Fatherless Generation Foundation page so that you guys can print it out. And I think it's a great way to have your children, those of you who have time with them, so that they're engaged in the co-parenting, knowing when they're coming to see you, where they don't have to keep saying, Dad, when am I coming to see you? Or, if you're a non-custodial parent and your mom, they don't have to ask that. They actually have a calendar that points to it and it has a sticker on it and it tells them, it gives them a clear schedule as to when they're coming to your house. And it's really cute. It's made out of, cartoon and crayons and all that. It's really cute. And I saw it and I was like, I'm going to post this for my people so that they can have it. Don said, just a flyer. So why don't you think hospitals don't want it? Hint, who has the most advantages in law right now, mom or dad? Once again, I know why they don't want it. Almost most states have cost sharing where states get revenue from child support. I totally understand that too. However, at the end of the day, we have to make everything father friendly. Even speaking at, Jason Flowers had me come speak at the Head Start MAGA conference a couple years ago. And even in that presentation, the directors had to admit that their facilities, Head Start, they're not father friendly. Daycares, they're not father friendly. And when they're not father friendly, you typically have women who are gatekeepers. Love you, ladies. But we become gatekeepers because of our own situations where we don't allow men to, do the exchanges. We make it difficult. We create barriers and all this other stuff. That is very challenging. Let me see. In the years Dr. Torrey has been doing this, 5, 6 deadbeats from over, well, we're actually at 3,300, babe. We're at 3,302 now that we've successfully done. We've had more cases, but I will say the successful reunites. He said, oh, no, you don't. Wait, what is this? No, you don't. I lost 5 months with my child because mom wouldn't let me see her because I had 0 rights. Yeah, he said 0. 5 months a child lost with her father because I didn't know the steps. I didn't have a plan. Don't make my mistake. You don't know the steps. Yeah. Tell that to the judge. I don't remember what I was saying. It's happening because people are having sex without being whole. Well, we know Jessica been on my Healing Tuesday segments. Come on, somebody, Jessica. Parents compliment each other. That's the social change to work. Yeah, that's the change. I lost 50-50 case yesterday. Judge completely ignored parental alienation. The fact the mother completely violated the current court order, not once, not twice, but more than half the contact didn't happen, and she interfered with visits. The judge didn't care. The mother is constantly being negative and sending unnecessary harassing commentary. Brian, I'm sorry to hear that. I believe that most judges don't know parental alienation. I don't think they know that. I think we still have to build a narrative. And for those of you, I need to post it again. I have quite a few. I don't remember the number I'm at, but I'm almost at 1,000 responses from dads. It's one of the reasons I'm working on this survey right now that will lead to a study. And the study is about how men are adapting. It's about men after the breakup, separation, and divorce, because you guys not only lose time with your children, but you have mental health things that kick into play. You have financial barriers that come into play. You lose jobs. You have to change jobs. And people think the potential factor in child support is a thing, but if I can't work at the optimum level that I was working at before I had this situation with children or a child, how do you think I'm going to be able to have the same job and make the same amount of money? It's just not real. So Brian, I'm really sorry that happened. I just don't think judges know. And that's why I'm doing the survey, so that there's more studies out there that will allow courts and judges to be able to, or attorneys, I should say, and guardian ad litems and experts to testify in these moments to let judges know where you are emotionally, because no one knows. You guys are superheroes, and that's where we're going to keep that. That's where we believe. Let me go back to Brittany. We've been trying to file through child support, and they have been told both parties need to file with our lawyers. Mom is a runner, but wants him to file paternity because she cannot. The fact that she's a runner is the problem. She wants the child support, but doesn't want him to have the visitation or the parenting. Yeah, I think it's suicide to pay the child support, and then you don't want him to see his child. Why would someone pay child support and not see the child? Fortunately, Brittany, a lot of men do that because they don't know the steps, like Paul said. We have the right, we have to do right by these kids. If we could just do that, stop the cycles. I think you meant stop the cycles. It shouldn't be that hard. A child needs a mother and a father. Yep. I'm a complete wreck. Heart's been ripped from my chest. I believe Paul Bryan is in Maryland. Yep, see, he answered already. He answered already. Will this be saved? Yes. I need my husband to see this live. He's at the dentist. Yeah, it'll be saved. It'll be on there. The judge stated that parental alienation is not existent due to the fact that when contacts or visits do take place, the kids are not afraid or estranged from me. So he's only seeing that it's only the emotional and psychological part. Well, then that's still interference of custody, but that's an attorney's job to fight. Yeah, we're definitely praying for you. September 26th healing group on Zoom. Followed, yep. And we have one on our page. We're starting to, Mondays, starting to do lives. The man has to the table with monies. That's the main thing, responsible. No, whoever that is on Twitter, 0308JD, money isn't the only thing. Responsibility comes in layers, and responsibility becomes everything from actually being able to be a parent. Money is definitely instrumental in raising children. I would never take that off the table. That's not a thing. You have to support the child, but it's not the main thing. She needs full support. Yeah, just not financial. She needs your full support. Yes, full support. That's financially, that's emotionally, and that's with time. She needs all of that. The children, the mother, everybody needs all of that. And I'm going to focus on the children. That's where she needs full support, not full financial support. I can't agree with that part of it. I can't agree that she needs full support. The child needs to be with the father as well as the mother. And the father should pay whatever portion needs to be, whatever they come to that conclusion. I'm not against child support in that way. I don't like child support as a system, but I understand if you don't live in the same household, there are some bills that need to be taken care of. But 0308JD, I will tell you that I have been blessed to meet some amazing economists, one of which came through the Fathers' Rights Movement at a conference last year. And he did a whole presentation. I was in his class for 4 hours, and he showed us the calculations. And do you know that child support is actually 7 times the amount it actually takes to raise the child? And I'm not talking about dads who don't pay. So please don't talk about that part. I'm talking about dads who are on an order. It's actually 7 times higher than the actual expenses to raise the child. And he broke that down mathematically. He broke that down. He put up apartments and how much the average cost of living in different states. And I was blown away. So yes, mothers, children, they need the full support of the father, but that's not just financially. It makes you wonder if a billboard with the paternity information needs to be put up outside hospitals with a website and a phone number for potential fathers to get that information. Yeah, that's an option. Do they look up? Paul would have to answer that. Brian said, I'm already aware of such. Thank you. Yeah. Haven't seen my children in 4 months because I won't give my my current new place. I've been kicked out if one other's place because my ex harassment. Yeah. So I said enough. Again, my kids are teens, so they can tell mom where I live. As for me, not going to happen. Judge said I had to give the mom and the courts my address. So, okay, hold on. Sorry, trying to scroll down. But as I see it, if they want me to willfully give my address in order to establish a contract against me, the kid's lawyer even also said in court, well, the children are with me. Let me see, this must be, oh, it cut off. I'm sorry, it cut off. Isaac, it cut off. The judge is the same judge who made the order to contact and visit, but the mother is violating constantly. Mother isn't being held accountable. So then what do you do? What do you do, Brian? Not just for you, but others. Brittany, we want visitation. We haven't seen my bonus son in 5 years. I don't care about paying child support. We want our days too, though. We can't get your check. You can't get your check and then keep moving to avoid being taken to court for visitation. That's the thing I want ladies to know. Women really think they're like, she is just insensitive and she is not about women's empowerment. Empowerment doesn't look the same for everybody. And it definitely don't look the same for me. I need to empower you to get healed and whole and recognize that you got some issues you dealing with, girlfriend. You got some issues you got to deal with. Dr. INA said it better than I can even ever say it. And I know I've said it a few times, but the root of your issue with this man has nothing to do with him, or I should say very little. You have transposed this man. This is how Dr. INA did it. You've taken this man and really he's your father, and everything your father has done is being transposed upon him. All the abandonment, all the issues, all the concerns, all the issues where he rejected you and he didn't show up, and the emotional pain and hurt because you didn't have the boldness like the little kid had. And he asked his mother, why does my brother see his father and I can't see mine? See, you've never asked your father, where was he? Maybe because we deep down know that maybe there was something going on between our parents that will make our mothers look wrong. And maybe prove that they are. Maybe that's why we don't ask. But I commend this young man in asking his mother the question. So, mom has supposedly gotten I'm going to go back to my original story. Mother has gotten the other man's name, her husband's name, removed from the birth certificate. She actually was like, that was hard and that was a lot of work. And so he needs to. And my first thought was, but you did that. See, that's the accountability piece. You did it. So you got to go take it off. And how hard it was, that's on you. See, I can't be professional and diplomatic all the time. I just can't do it. It's just not even my personality. So if it's your fault, then it's your fault. And so now you have to live with the consequences and all of the work that you have to do to remove this other man's name off the birth certificate. That's your job. So when she was saying that, I was like, Oh, Lord help me. I had to put my phone, my business line on mute. I was clicking my computer, putting it on mute because that's where my business line comes through. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, help me. Father, help me. Because I don't want to say anything wrong. I want to stay focused. I want to stay focused because she felt like that was the thing. Like that was a lot. I had to go take this man's name off this birth certificate and now move forward. And I got a child support case going. She wants the money. And she was like, I'm not willing to mediate with him if it's not going to be about talking about a rearage. You want a rearage from a man who isn't on the birth certificate, potentially is the father. We don't know. Paul gave great advice. That's your job to go find that out, Dad, especially if the kid's in your care. But you want a rearage from a man after another man's been paying for him. And this man's been sending gifts and stuff along the way when he could find you. Child, we found her at work. Like we did. We found her work address. And then she went and got a different job. And I was like, no! But when a man has doubts, you guys, we have to own our part in how we created those doubts within him. If we're the ones responsible. If we're the ones responsible for the doubts, we got to own it, ladies. He's not just doubting because, he just came up with that. Some do. Some have their own painful journey. I'm referring to this particular client. And I know the guy, whoever that is, on Periscope, they're saying men run and men have doubts and they create things for a reason. I'm not saying that some don't, but this particular gentleman, he doesn't. She even tried to say, well, if we get him on child support and he switches jobs, then what? Because he moves jobs a lot. You guys, in the 4 years I've been working with him, he's been at the same job. I was like, I don't know that to be true about this person. She was trying to disparage him. And I've been working with him and talking to him for 4 years. His patience is like unreal. Because most of you have cases that have been going on for 15 years. You come to me and in 2 months, you want me to rectify something. And then when I don't, you go to social media and talk all crazy. This man has been 4 years because he knows that we're actively working. He knows because we email him about it. But with other people, we can email them and they still say, that's not real. You didn't do anything. It's like, this is nuts. I had to turn a client away and tell a client recently that we can't continue this relationship. And Charles, if he's still on here, he can tell you. We're not going to get into no names, but the situation was crazy. The dad kept filing paperwork incorrectly. And every time I had to I'm working to get the attorney on the phone for a consultation, it's changed. How many of you know the attorney doesn't want that case anymore? Not pro bono, low bono. We give them something, right? It's nothing compared to what they would get. But if every time I call the attorney and say, well, he filed this, and so now he got to go to court for this thing, and he filed this other thing, or I'll say, well, okay, he made it through that one, and he won that, so now we're going to go here. And as soon as we're about to go in this direction, he filed something else, or he made a misstep. I had to say, we can't help you. We can't help you. Pretty much, I can't see my kids who's at their mom's house 10 minutes away because I won't give her my address. I understood that part, but somehow it cut off the other part. It's been 4 months since I've seen them physically. It's not a law that I have to give them my address, so I'm confused. The kids can easily give it to her. Hold on, let me go back up. They won't accept that as confirmation. She works for the county, and guess who is the chairman of the board of the company, the judge of our case. So this is something that we talked about on Healing Tuesday one night, Isaac, that I'm going to share with you. Your situation is she harasses. And I had a case like this in Georgia. I had a case like this with a client who had to fly in from Colorado. He would give her the address. He was obligated to give her the address 10 days before he showed up in Georgia. Most of the time it's an Airbnb, right? Because he wants his daughter to have like a home situation. And she would find the owner of the Airbnb and call and say he was an abuser, he was this, he was that, and they would cancel his Airbnb. That's a thing, y'all. I've seen too much to take sides with women without knowing more. I'm sorry. That's why y'all get upset. So I get not giving her the address because it's caused you to lose a living situation because people just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with your drama. They've got enough. You need to find a way around. You need to figure out another way to navigate that. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I need to, but I know we have to find ways to resolve it. How this dad resolved it is he actually bought an RV and he parked it and he used it as an opportunity to, and I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying this is how this dad resolved it. He parked it, bought the lot, parked it where he wanted it to be, and that's where they would be at times. But then he'd use it as an education, way to travel and educate his daughter on different places that they could go to when she was in his care for the week. Now I can say, mother did drive by and say, he's got her living in an RV. Well, if you saw the RV, like seriously, people live in trailer homes, like get out of here. And the judge was like, you don't get to dictate how and where they live. Like as long as you have an address, you don't get to dictate that. And because he was mobile, she had nobody to harass. So Isaac, I don't know if you're still living with someone. I don't know what your situation is. I have seen some of your posts, so I know that financially there's some struggles because of all that you've been through, which is happening to a lot of dads. I think you need to figure out an alternative is all I'm suggesting concerning the address. But if she's going to harass, I would be reluctant about giving her my address as well. But how do you get to see your children if that's what they're holding? Yeah. And you're never going to be able to say, oh, well, the judge. I mean, you could, but I've seen that happen one too many times where it goes bad, where you make a complaint against the judge and then the judge may recuse themselves, but they pass it on to their friend. And then the friend takes you through the ringer, because they're friends with the judge who's in the chambers next to them. So then they take you through the ringer and you can do this over and over again and still not seeing your kids. So my prayer is that this gets rectified because it's just ruining the children. It's just ruining the children. You're definitely being ruined in the process, but I don't even know because that particular client, I'm telling you, the RV was genius. And the fact that he had money to do it was the thing. I get that money is not that for everyone. Brittany says, so in my situation, would you recommend mom should be the one seeking the paternity? Child support has already told her she will have to file her own case against the real bio dad. That's an attorney's position. I can't tell you that legally. But she's got to somehow remove the husband from being the father. That's her doing. She's got to do it. So I get where you're at, why you're asking me that. But because I said a moment ago, it's this place of you created it, so you got to fix it, right? Is she going to do that? That's where I'm going to go with it. Is she going to really file her own paternity to remove her husband and to put your husband now on child support, which in doing the paternity, which then means that he becomes the legal father as well? Is she going to do that? Or is she enjoying this game that she gets to play? I know someone who is not taking father's name off child's birth certificate, but has applied to have their name changed. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. When you come into my inbox and say I'm biased and I only take a dad's side of the story, these are two women who are in relationship with the men, who have engaged with the women. Are they biased because it's their husband? Because I know women who have been through this and they'll get their husband on the phone and be like, handle this. They're not taking his side. They want this over because it's taking them through a lot. Brittany and Kelly Jo they're not trying to take his side just for the taking his side's sake. Yeah, Brittany says she's definitely enjoying the game. Okay, Isaac said, I got my own place now. So Isaac, can she harass you there? He said, I've had 8 public defenders in 3 years. Well, the fact that you can get public defenders in a family law case, I'm gonna applaud that wherever you are. That's a lot though, because they probably withdrew from the case because of all the craziness. Brian said, I had someone I was assisting to do the same, told them I couldn't do anything to help them if they're going to change things without saying beforehand. Yeah, Brian, we're going back to that other situation. Brian, it was like, I can't help you. He would email me like 1:47, like right now, right? And then he'd say, I need paperwork on blah, blah, blah. And I need assistance on how to file a contempt. And by the time I talked to him, he'd already done it. He'd already done it. By the time I'm trying to get attorney, he's already done it. And then courts were closed. He was in a particular county who they weren't even taking e-filing. They were closed. They didn't open until the middle of July. Do you know he had filed 11 motions for contempt? And he had filed them on a closed case. It was rough. It was just rough. And I'm like, I can't help you. Now, y'all, he want a refund. After I've been on top of the courts, I've been calling, I'm like, I can't today. He's the only Supreme Court judge here that is and can take our case. There's nobody else. Rights are being suspended, but not taking, because as I said, in court, there's no cause of proof or reason. Yeah, that's a lot. And you're in a really, really small town. Yeah, that's a lot. And how do you manage that emotionally? Brittany, I want this over. I want it done correctly so we can have him with our family. I don't want any drama, no mess, just co-parenting and raising a successful young man. See, you guys, when we are having conversations and we are talking about mom, get it right. Cut it out. Stop doing that. When we're pointing out the things that you're doing wrong, it's so that you can alleviate all the drama and the stress that not only you're putting everyone else through, but you're putting yourself through some stuff. And you're showing all of your slip, and what I mean by slip is you are showing all of your emotional distress, your brokenness, all of this, your mental health challenges and issues. You were showing your bipolar, manic, depressive. You're showing all of that. But because you got a job and you show up regular, people don't call you on it. I had a case where mother was a school teacher. You guys know this case if you've been following long enough. School teacher. She was in a very prominent sorority. She is my husband's fraternity sister. She is Kamala Harris's soror. Showed up well put together. And dad was going through changes until she made one mistake. And she had a mishap where she did something to the child and had to resuscitate the child and then called 911. And when 911 got there was someone there who clearly had some discernment and said, how did you resuscitate him? And she couldn't tell you. Because she didn't answer at first. And then she was like, do you still need us? And then finally they got in, how did you resuscitate him? And she couldn't tell. Got to the hospital. The EMT had a lot of questions. And then while they're trying to treat her and the baby, she grabs the baby by the bottom of his foot, hangs him upside down and says, see, I'm not trying to kill my baby. I'm not trying to do anything to my baby. It's the people in the hallway who are trying to kill my baby. Y'all, there was nobody in the hallway. And because the hospital wrote it up properly, and we were able to get those documents, when she showed up with 3 lawyers trying to intimidate our one pro bono lawyer, she lost immediately. They moved forward, were able to present the paperwork, and her attorneys withdrew within it was within an hour. I'll give it an hour. It was an hour. So I need you guys to know, people show up all the time, just mentally all put together, but they got some stuff going on and they will snap in an instant. And prayerfully, and thank God, because we were praying for the little boy. Nothing happened to him. He did not die that night. We don't know if she did something that then she had to resuscitate him. She told them that she had to. We don't know. This is the second time this has happened, and it was the second time in a year and a half. And dad now has custody. Mom has parenting time and visitation. So I just pray that in situations like that, where you guys are worried about your children, that the truth will manifest. And in all of your situations, I want your truth to manifest. Hey, Dr. Sonia C. Blackwell. Yes, look, I'll announce it here in a moment. I promise you I will, because I've been posting. And I'll post some more today for my Dallas people. But yes, mental health matters. And when you can do all of this and play games with someone, you're not as stable as you think, or as you appear to be to the rest of the world. You're not stable. There is something mentally broken in you. And it may just be your fatherless piece, right? You may be triggered by seeing fathers play with their children in the park. You may be triggered when your child's father doesn't come pick him up on the designated time. It does happen, you guys. I'm not saying that every father is perfect and every man wants to be a father and he shows up. I can't give you that. But I don't get those deadbeats calling me. They know not to call me. They have look, I've had deadbeats attempt to come through my program, and they never make it through because we figure it out. I pray. I was going to tell you, I'm up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning when I'm not tired, praying. And I'm not just praying for what I want. I'm praying for clients. I'm praying for children to be reunited with their fathers. I'm praying that God's will be done in every situation, because children need their dads. Trauma triggers all types of demons. Yes, Elijah, it does. We don't know why these women are doing what they're doing, but I would put money that it has to do with their relationship with their fathers. And many of you have come in and said, well, no, they had a father in the home. It doesn't mean they had a relationship. It doesn't. Men admitted the other night, it's a very hard thing to show up and be perfect. Like you guys are asked to be perfect. And I was talking to my trainer the other day, and I didn't go today because I was in a lot of pain, you guys, about an hour ago, a lot of pain. And so I was like, not from training. My stomach was just really giving me some issues. Aleve has helped, but I got to go get this prescription. So keep me in your prayers. But talking to him, and he was talking about, parenting and wanting to do these things. And he was like, it's hard to provide and be present. And he said, I could do it if I was in the home, but we're not going to be together. So it's just going to be hard like this. And you could tell he's carrying some weight about it, the same way many of you are. It's hard to provide and parent when you're not in the home with your child. Because at least when you get home and you put your feet up, they're there, even if y'all are just laying together. Even if you're just kicking it. I see some awesome photos from Linda Steele where the father and the daughter are just laying all over top of each other. I love that, because see, when he comes home, that's his emotional support. That's how he provides. That's how he gives his time. Maybe he says things weird. We're watching a picture, but just in the photo, there's a connection. That's what dads get to do from inside the home. And when you're not married to her, when you guys are now divorced or whatever it is, to provide and parent is a very challenging thing. And if women are honest, they're having the same challenge to provide and be a mother. I won't call you a single mother, because some of you aren't single in that way. You're single in the context of having a partner, but you're not single in providing. There's child support being paid, and dads are coming. I don't even think, and every other weekend. And once again, some people say, well, that ain't enough. Well, let me tell you, there's at least, I would say I got 9 people that are saying they're on now. I know there was more. I don't know, because I won't know until I see the numbers. But I think I had 20 something at one point. There were at least 10 fathers on here who are fighting for 50-50. So ladies, know that most men aren't okay with every other weekend. Not the ones that I deal with. They're fighting for 50-50 and not to get off child support, because those who are on here who fought for 50-50 and who got 50-50 can tell you they still pay child support. There's still a portion that goes into child support. So you guys have all of your stuff that you talk about. Isaac says, all I know is that I love my children. I'm an active parent. My children love me. I don't drink or smoke. I have no priors at all, or arrests or anything. That shouldn't even matter. But I get why you say it, because it does to people. It's like defending myself for something I'm not. Yeah, see, I didn't even get to that part. This has caused my stress and anxiety as a parent and a father. That's it. As a parent and a father, that's it. I speak out against corruption because that's how I was raised, period. You were speak to speak. Yeah, I got you. If you see something wrong, say it. And that's what's happening to a lot of fathers. I hope, Isaac, you have filled out my survey. I am going to post it on all of my pages and all of my platforms today. My goal is 5,000. I am not there, but I'm definitely over the 1,000 threshold as far as how many men have answered it. Elijah says that's what it's all about, praying to break this generational curse. And prayer comes with therapy. Prayer comes with strategy. Prayer comes with, we're not waiting for God to just drop something down. Maybe he drops down perspective. Maybe he drops down a strategy. Yeah, he drops down something new that you hadn't thought of. But he doesn't just drop something down. That's different. I don't want people to think prayer is to give you new insight, new perspective, to hear, to commune. I hear. When I pray, I hear. I have a journal that sits next to me when I pray. I may hear one word, period. And it's the word I needed to hear. It's the perspective I needed for the day. That's part of some of your issues. And Isaac, I don't know what your faith is. I ain't even going to try to put no faith on it. But you need to figure out what is the place you need to go to in prayer to alleviate stress and anxiety. I now have worked out because I got stress and anxiety over y'all cases. And now working out has become my new love. I hate going. My trainer will tell you, I complain when I'm doing cardio. I'll do the other stuff with no problem. I hate cardio. But I go. And I do what I need to do. I'm at an hour, so I'm going to get off here in a minute. What do you do if you can't see your child because the mother won't talk to you unless it's about rekindling the relationship? Well, Kinley, do you have a court order is my question. Have you tried to go to court or do any type of mediation? Some people don't like mediation. I'm in love with mediation from Georgia's perspective. I don't know anybody else who does mediation like Georgia, maybe because I'm certified there. And I've been in enough courtrooms with it now that I get to see it differently. I've been in some other states and I'm like, this is y'all mediation? This isn't good. You're giving too many options. Women to opt out. In Georgia, you can't opt out like that. You can if an attorney's involved. I've seen it that way more. But when people are pro se, they're more likely to sit down with that mediator and get it done. They are more likely to do it. Isaac, my ex makes $50 a year and still gets social services, food stamps, child support, and Section 8. I get nothing, of course, and she gets to prove she provides more. Don't let the false narrative impact your reality. You hear me, Isaac? Don't let her false narrative impact your reality. I see it happening way too often with men. A woman will put up a narrative and we become that. We take it all in. We absorb that. So don't let her false narrative become your reality. Who cares if she provides more than you? It doesn't matter. Your heart is in it. And we want you to get to a place where you are successful and you can pay the child support that works with whatever you guys have going on. I'm not getting into whether or not child support is Title 4D and all that. I'm not getting into that today, y'all. I'm not. Because we know that there's a lot of reasons for it. Do you have to give mom a home address? Do you have to give mom a home address? Brittany, that's what he's saying. I asked for mediation. The first right, refusal since my ex works a part-time job and she goes to school part-time as well while leaving the kids with her daughter that's 17. They denied me. Yeah, because you've got a situation where there is some corruption going on and you got to figure out. I don't have any legal advice as far as that. I have no clue who to even refer you to. I don't even know where you are, honestly, Isaac. Maybe you inbox me where you're located. And if I know somebody who's in that state who can give you at least some level of strategy, I'll do my best to do that. Is there such thing as putting an order of protection against mom where she can't come to the home due to harassment? I'm sure there is. That's harassment. Yeah. You can just request to seal the address from the record for your protection and safety. See, that's what I thought he knew that. Maybe I didn't say that. I didn't say that because I thought he knew that. But he's saying that the court, when he came back and commented, he came back and said the court is requiring her to know. It's not the law, but only suggested. You're in Rochester, New York. I have my address sealed from the record because the mother has violated. Yeah. Have you done that, Isaac? Before I get off of here, have you given it to the courts but sealed it from her? Before I make any assumption. Thanks for saying that, Brian. I made an assumption based on what he sent in his comment. Have you given your address to the courts but asked for it to be sealed from her? And I think, Brian, what he's also saying, and I'm just going off of what I think, because the judge is who he is to the ex, his address wouldn't be sealed. They would just deny it. But that's one of the, on most petitions, like pro se stuff, that's one of the questions. Is there any reason that this address and your phone number or whatever should be sealed or protected? Yeah. Redacted, whatever that statement is. I gave this suggestion before, and I'll give it again. Wow. I'll give this, before I read that, I'll give this again. Some of you can't afford an attorney, but you need to afford a consultation and request a consultation to get your strategy. Not that I'm going to potentially hire you. I can't do that. You need to be upfront. I can't hire you. But what I want to do is pay you an hourly salary or your hourly fee and get a strategy on what I have going on. That's costing you $250, $350 max. Could cost you less than that depending on the attorney. Do your research on attorneys. I had an order of protection, but after my case was tossed to the Supreme Court, they dropped my order of protection from her to continue the case. Yeah, see, you need a consultation for strategy. Have you been doing this by yourself, Isaac? A judge cannot violate your rights to protect your home, especially if there's evidence of the other party has done or attempted to cause harm. I got to get off of here, y'all, because I got some stuff I got to do. But Isaac, I want to know that answer. Have you done all of this without, you said you had 8 public defenders, but I don't know what that means. Have they, in 3 years? So no, I guess I'm answering my own question. He hasn't done it without an attorney, but he's had 8 public defenders. Who were they? Oh, you're saying, yes, you have done it without an attorney. Because 8 public defenders, are they family law attorneys? Well, Brian, he's gone higher ups. He says this is the only judge in his county, and he's gone to the Supreme Court. But you know what Supreme Courts have done, or what they typically do? They remanded back to Superior Court. So you fired 4 and 4 dropped out of your case. Huh. So you've had 8. Yeah. And you know, they're doing it for free. I need for you to I need you to figure out a way to find that one attorney that you know can get it done and pay them a fee, whatever that fee is, their hourly rate, and be honest with them. I'm not calling you to hire you. I'm calling you for my strategy only, and see how they respond to that. Because that's what you need. You need strategy. I got to go, you guys, because I got to go back to work. For those of you who are in Dallas, or you know somebody in Dallas, you're in Texas, and you want a little trip. I will be in Texas tomorrow. I'll be in Dallas all weekend. I get there tomorrow. I will be ministering on Saturday. I am a part of This Mind Summons that Dr. Sonia C. Blackwell has put together. Yes, it is about social distancing. I know you guys are like, you going to church? Yeah, yes. I went last month and I'll go next month as well. They give you a mask. Where's my mask? They give you a mask when you get there. I'm not talking to the people who are against masks. I'm talking to the people who, yeah. They give you a mask when you get there. They give you hand sanitizer and you're social distanced in the church. She's doing this because she knows the suicide rates are high, and it just so happens to be Suicide Awareness Month. Suicide rates are high. We need to make sure that those who are used to congregating and getting inspiration and all of those things. Did you know one of the reasons suicide rates is high is because people aren't able to congregate and get encouragement and inspired through their ministry and their church like they're used to. I know you can watch it online, but they're used to being around people in that energy. So we're providing that. There are mental health individuals and clinicians on site to help you through some of your stuff. I am there. Last month I taught about discovering your father wound. Half the room did not know they had a father wound until I was done talking. It was not that I was pointing out their father wound, but how many of them could relate, and they realized they had a father wound once I was done, and half the room raised their hand. And it was like, and the other half was like, yeah, I already knew that, but you also gave me insight. So the whole room was impacted, and I'm grateful. And this month I am getting into forgiveness. How does unforgiveness impact your mental health and your physical health? Come on, somebody. So, being unforgiving towards your father, that's the other part. That's where I'm going. So if you are in the Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington area, I want you guys to show up. It's a powerful place. It's a powerful opportunity. And it's only $50. And that includes an amazing lunch. I was impressed with my Papa Do's last time. So I want you guys to come if you are in that area. There are other clinicians who will be there. A young lady, Kimberly, is coming in that I can't wait to meet from Arkansas. She is the director of mental health and something else in Arkansas, over the state of Arkansas. There's other ministers who are coming as well. So just letting you know, that's where I'm going to be. Brian is saying, make sure you have a GoPro or other form of video with audio on you at all times. Record everything at this point. You are in my thoughts. Yeah, Brittany, we're all praying for Isaac. I'm not going to pay anyone to go up against a Supreme Court judge in my county. That's a guaranteed loss of funds I can't afford. Either way, we will keep in touch. Thanks for the insight and listening. I really appreciate it. I think it's Suicide Awareness Month because they've other people with their kids for the first day of school, but have their own. Okay, it's sad reminder. I go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm just saying. I got you. Understood. All right, you guys. I like to get on here and ask questions, and then we get into some other stuff. So now we're working out other issues, and I know people are like, huh? So just know I am Dr. Tori J. It is my heart's desire to help you guys reunite, connect the dots to your pain, and overcome generational curses associated with your daddy issues. And thanks to Paul and a few others as you chimed in, we now know what to do when a father has doubts. When we have the children in our care, we get a DNA test just for our own peace of mind. And then we go through the different steps and stages. So that was awesome information, and we'll go from there. So I will see you guys next week. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.